Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk episode 80 something or other. I'm not quite sure of the number and I can't be bothered to look at the moment. So for anybody tuning in for the first time, Yarn Talk is a knitting, crochet, and fiber arts podcast guaranteed to give you your recommended dose of fiber arts in 60 minutes or less. If you are concerned that your fiber intake may be lower than the recommended dosage, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that more awesome projects like these can keep your hands and your heart full. It's been a bit. Life has been lifing, but largely improving, so I'm not really complaining. I just haven't had screen time and still don't really have a lot of screen time. It is Wednesday as I'm recording this, and this is probably going to go up Friday because as soon as Hunter's done with school, we're going to be going to the park for an hour or two, and then I have to figure out dinner, and then I have to do dishes and all the mom things that need to occur. We all know how that is. So I have a few things that are done, and I have some pattern release information, and I have some bags and other stuff related to those to talk about. So I'm gonna run through it pretty quick because I've got to get Hunter from school in less than an hour, and then all of the afternoon bonanza commences. So if you stuck around for these first 2 minutes of me rambling about how I'm gonna get on with it, now I'm really gonna get on with it. So, the first thing that I have finished, because I was talking about how I wanted to make a smaller version of my perfect cappuccino pattern, which this is going to be releasing next week, because it now also has a miniature kitty cat size version. Now, mind you, the eyeballs on this look really funky because they were made with puff paint, and it's glow-in-the-dark puff paint, which is super cool. But it wasn't completely dry yet, and Hunter touched it because he wasn't sure if it was dry or not. So, yeah. So, this is the full-size version, and this is the miniature, more keychain, kid hand-sized playing with version. Both versions will be included in the written pattern. If you are a patron over at patreon.com/randomrandy, this is going to be the pattern that will be included with your $5 plus membership for next month. So if you would like to not have to pay for my new pattern releases every month and get extra PDFs of all of my other free patterns that I already have listed, sign up over on Patreon, and every month you get at least one new pattern, usually whichever one I'm releasing that month. I just throw the PDF up included in your membership on Patreon. So I'm not having anybody trying to say, you said it was free and it's not free. It's included with your $5 plus monthly membership. This is a teeny one, isn't it cute? But I was actually inspired to make this super small version because of my next finished object, which is this. Apparently I can't hold on to anything today, which is this adorable little Stegosaurus. This is from the second 100 mini Amigurumi patterns book by a Menagerie of Stitches. I follow her on Instagram. Her name is Lauren Espy. What do you need, buddy? I don't know if I can get that back out of there without the tweezers, kid. This is Killian. He'll be 5 in November. This is my youngest son, if you've never seen him before. Big brother's at school still for now. Here, buddy. Can you say hi? Can you say hello? You gotta look right here at the camera, buddy. Right here.
That say A.
Yes, it says A. That means it's auto-focusing. So go ahead, go play. So, this designer's name is Lauren Espy. She is also known as a Menagerie of Stitches over on Instagram and everywhere else. She has one book that's called Whimsical Stitches that is a bunch of different sized amigurumi. And Kim from Blue Cherub 82 just got the second volume and has started making all of the cool critters from it too. Hi Kim, I'm so glad you got my bag, that Nightmare Before Christmas bag. I hope it has a happy home with you. Taking over more continents, yes! I feel like I'm invading foreign lands here. Anyway, adorable Stegosaurus. And this yarn is Big Twist Sincerely yarn, which is a Joann Fabrics exclusive brand. It's essentially just their store brand, but it's a speckled acrylic, and this is called Cupcake Confetti, and the cup version on the teeny tiny cappuccino is also Cupcake Confetti, because I really, really like it, because finding a speckled worsted weight acrylic is not super common. So yes, this is the first one I have made out of the second volume of 100 Mini Amigurumi. I actually made this while I was recapping watching John Wick 2 last week before I went to see John Wick 3 on Friday, and it was so good. If you're into action movies, it was just knockdown, drag out, fight scenes that went on forever. It was grueling. It was a tiring movie to watch. At the end of it, I was like, wow, I'm tired. I need some caffeine because I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep after that. It's pretty awesome though. Alright, so that's two things that are done. Other finished object is I made myself a Rosie wrap in cotton, and it is black cotton that has a silver metallic thread in it. If I can get it to look at the stitches and not my face. Maybe, probably not. Do I have the extra over here? I don't think I do. But this is Premier Home Cotton, and it is actually a cotton polyester blend. I think it's 85 cotton, 15 polyester. So it has a little more stretch than regular cotton does. And allegedly it is more color fast and dries more quickly because of the polyester in it. But it's just like all of my other Rosie wraps. I'm probably going to make a whole bunch of them with cotton because I have a lot of cotton and I don't really like making dishcloths. So, except to test out stitches, beyond that, I'm not really a big fan of making dishcloths. So I'll probably make a bunch of these in cotton to put up in the shop. This one, however, is mine because black and sparkles are pretty much all me in a nutshell. Yes. That other thing that I have done, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen this, and also part of my belly, because I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm not 100% comfortable with where my body's at right now, but I'm getting there, and I don't think that people of any shape or size should have to hide under burlap sacks in public unless that's what makes them feel comfortable. Dress how you want to. You'll feel a lot better if you do, I promise. So, this is the spiked punch top, and I'm not going to put it on right now, but I will put up a picture of it. As you can see, it is two different types of yarn. The white sparkle yarn is a Caron Simply Soft Party, and the variegated in between is Hirschner's Worsted 8 in Rose Garden, and it's multiple shades of just coral and this really peachy red and a light sage green. I really, really like this color. In the back, if I can get all the extra floppy tails up out of the way here. The back laces up like a corset, so you can adjust the fit. If you are bustier on top, you can lace it a little bit higher for a little more support. Can tighten it more if your rib cage is more narrow. I actually have a very broad, wide rib cage and kind of a flat chest, so yeah. But this is finally done. So by the time this video actually goes up, this pattern will be live on Etsy and Ravelry for purchase, and it will also be going up on Patreon for the May pattern because I have been so freaking busy that I have not put up a pattern there yet this month. So The spiked punch crochet top is going to be the pattern for this month, for May, because there's like 2 or 3 days left of May. And then the cappuccino is going to be June's pattern, and maybe I'll get another one close to the end of June, and if not, definitely want to have one for July. My ultimate goal for this year was to publish one pattern every month. I have a few patterns that I have put out this year, but not nearly as many as I would like to. The only active work in progress that I have right now is the start of a top. I have a bunch of other things that have been sitting around, but I haven't touched them in weeks, so I'm not even going to bother showing them to you because I'm fairly certain I haven't touched any of them since the last time I showed you. So this is the start of a scalloped top. It is a free pattern. I don't remember the name of it, but I will post it here, and I'll leave the link to the pattern down below in the description box under the video. I am making this with Red Heart Super Saver Day Glow, and I think what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to have quite enough to make the whole shirt with this, I'm going to do the bottom half of the front panel in Day Glow, and then I'm going to do the top half of the front panel with Blacklight, because I have a jumbo skein of Blacklight, and that should make it so I have enough for the front and back and sleeves to be just this. It's going to be pretty awesome. This is going to be something that I can either wear over a swimsuit or wear with just a tank top underneath, which is nice. It's really cool. I really like the way the stitches turned out on it. It took me 3 tries to get the foundation row done properly with the proper placement of stitches. The pattern itself isn't really specific enough about where the stitches have to be placed. So that was a little bit rough, but once I got that, the actual pattern row itself, it's just one row and you just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until it's the height you need it to be. Then you separate for sleeves and everything, and yeah. Not very much so far, but this was less than an hour worth of work. Once I finally did get the foundation row right, that is. So I have 3 skeins of this, and it's gonna be a couple 100 yards short of what it would take for the entire top. The sizing of the top is nice because I actually will wear the small size, which makes me feel really good about myself because that's not usually the case because I have these big square shoulders that are, yeah, not usually as small at all. So that's my only work in progress. Other things, I have a few of them done. I have a few I'm still working on, but like I said, this is going to go up probably Friday, so they will be done by then, but everything will be in my shop over on Etsy. So I have some bags that I'm working on. I do still have some that are cut that I have to finish sewing, but I'm going to post the ones that are finished, and there are just more quantity of the same thing that will be in the shop, and I'll just be making it once it's been listed. Otherwise, I will never list them or finish them. You gotta figure out what works for your brain when it comes to mass producing stuff for a shop. So, the bags that I have, there are 2 different interior types for this, but this is the black sheep bag. These are in my normal standard size. I will also have 1 or 2 that'll be my sock sized bag, and I'll show you what one of those looks like in a minute. So this interior on this one reminds me of vintage sheets from the 70s. We actually had some sheets that looked like this, but it had some yellow in it too. And these have the little tab inside that you can hang a stitch marker from, or if you're using this like a handbag, you can put your keys in it. I just have to add the drawstring still. It has a carrying handle or a hanging handle if you hang your project bags on a wall. There's a boxed bottom that's about 5 inches across. And this fabric, with me being the weird one always, makes me super happy because it has black sheep on it. And the black sheep, if you're not familiar with The colloquial term is usually the weird odd one out in the group. So, I am a misfit. This bag makes me happy. The other interior is this very light minty green, and it has little different colored hearts. This is another standard sized bag, so I've got those. And I have one more of each of these, I believe, that I have to sew up. This was actually a fabric remnant that I picked up at Joann's, so I only have one normal sized bag of this and one sock sized bag. But it is a science themed print. And it has beakers, microscopes, goggles, atoms, theory of relativity, Erlenmeyer flasks. It's good stuff. This is the standard sized bag, and the interior is a glittery star print because the background of this kind of looks like a galaxy. And this is what I call my sock sized bags because it's perfect for a small project. I always just think of knitting. This is the perfect size for a sock project. You can fit a decent sized cake of yarn in here, or a cappuccino. And it still has a boxed bottom, but this is only about 3 inches across to keep a little more vertical depth to the bag. Still has the strap, the tab inside. Like I said, I just need to put drawstrings in all of these so I can list them. So there's only one of each of that. I do have some similar science prints that I will be cutting and sewing soon though. And the other one, which I have to actually cut a new interior because the interior fabric that I had was from my fabric stash inheritance, and right in the middle of one of the sides of it that I didn't notice because it was folded together is a huge hole. So I have to recut a center for this particular bag, but there are, I think, 4 of these that are the regular size bag. And it is these super cute llamas. I really like this print a lot. And this is actually a flannel, so it's a little bit heavier than a regular quilting cotton is, which I like because I'm all about sturdiness and durability, especially having small children. So yeah, this needs interior and all of the rest of the makings of a bag, but there are, like I said, I think 3 more regular sized and 1 sock size of this print. And those will all be up in my shop by the time this goes up, so you guys will be able to grab whatever is left at that point, because I do have some people who actually follow my shop, so anytime I post items they get a notification so they can rush right off and buy it as soon as they get it. And in other sewing news, I did finally get my fancy, expensive, I love it, love it, love it machine back. Unfortunately, the man who ran the local repair shop, who was hospitalized, did pass, but there is another local person who took up all of the work that was remaining in the shop and took care of it for his family, and actually charged less for it than I was quoted as being expected to pay for it, which I almost felt like just leaving them with what I had initially been told the cost would be, but they insisted no, so it was nice. I'm glad that he's not hurting anymore. As horrible as that sounds, I know that a lot of people think that's a horribly morbid way to look at it, but after watching my grandfather go through some horrible things while he was hospitalized, and he ended up being in a coma, and his organs started shutting down, and they had him on all of these machines, and that's just... if it's not a temporary thing and it's not something you can recover from, even though I'm not a religious person, I still feel like you need to let that person's energy go and be free. As much as it might hurt in the long run, it's not fair to them to keep them trapped in a useless meat prison. My personal opinion on a lot of things. Seriously, maintenance. So that is really all I have for now. I want to say thank you so much to everybody for hanging around. I am now finally over 3,500 subscribers, which a friend reminded me recently was my first big mile marker for the year. I was planning to aim for 10K by the end of the year, but with how inconsistent my uploads have been, and with everything that's about to go totally bananas in the next few months with us moving soon, and all of the other fun things, I think aiming for 5,000, soft goal, 7,500, big goal is more realistic, but we'll see. I'm trying to aim big, but not so big that there's no way in hell I'm going to reach it. So anyway, thank you so much everybody for sticking around. If you are not in the Facebook group and you would like to be, go check it out. It's Random Randy's Random Family. We share everything in there from projects that we're working on to what we're cooking for dinner. It's a good place to be able to interact with people, and occasionally me when I'm actually online. Pretty much all I do, it seems, is just check for member requests and add them as long as they check out on my phone, and that's pretty much all I have time for lately. But that happens to everybody this time of year as the weather gets nicer. So thank you yet again, everybody, for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to make sure that you don't miss any updates. And I will catch you all in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Bye.